could have swore I saw a bug. Oh, it's outside. It's those stupid bumblebees you be seeing. Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name's Koa and this is Koa's Plant Corner. So today we're going to be continuing our Koa's Plant Care series, and today I'm featuring a plant that I only have one of, and this is kind of not normal for me because I tend to have duplicates of plants that I really like and enjoy. But I love this plant, but I only have one of it at the moment. Okay, so this plant I've wanted for a very long time. I actually was looking for a smaller pot of it, but my sister went to a nursery, one of my local nurseries around me, and she saw that they had this plant, and I'm like, it's more expensive than I really wanted it to be. It's more expensive than I really intended to pay for at the time. But I tell her, hey, just get it, because I don't know, I really like it that much. I didn't mind paying a little extra for a bigger pot. So this is the plant. It's called a silver dollar vine. I'll put the scientific name on the screen if you're interested. I'm not really sure how to say or pronounce it, so I'm not going to. But this plant here, I believe this is a 4 to 5, maybe 5, almost a 6-inch pot here. This plant is actually one of the harder plants for me to deal with and care for in my collection. I really wanted to make sure that I have this care down pat before I even think about filming this video. And typically before we go into the care of this plant, I like to categorize each of these plants in 4 categories. The first one is light, so I'll be explaining to you the light that it's in, if it's happy or if it's not happy in that light. Then we're going to go over the watering and how I water the plant. Thirdly is the pot it's in. And fourthly is the soil that it's in. So starting with light, it is located right in front of my window. I have a southwestern window and it's located right there. It hangs right there across the window. My other hanging plants on this window. And it's fine. Sometimes I will pull it away from there and just put it directly straight into the sunlight, and it seems to like that, honestly. It doesn't really burn or anything for me. I find that it actually grows a bit faster if it's getting direct sunlight anyway, so I just give it a little bit more light. Okay, so for watering, when I first got this plant, I over cared for it. So for me, that just means that I overwatered it a lot, and I found a lot of the bottom leaves were dropping a lot. So once I figured out that it didn't need much water, I did more research on it, and it's more of a succulent plant. So they store water in their leaves. So there's no need to really keep watering it like that. So when the plant needs a little bit more water, it will get softer leaves. And when it's pretty good, the leaves are nice and plump. So that's how I know when to water it now. Or sometimes I will see the bottom leaves will begin to wrinkle, but I really try not to let it get to that point because I don't want to lose any more bottom leaves. But I found even though the bottom leaves did drop the first time I got it, some new growth actually shot out from those places where the leaves were. I don't know if they're nodes or I don't know what they're called. They could be nodes, but some new growth actually popped off from that, so which is pretty cool. This vine here, the longest vine here, is actually from a part of the leaf that had fell off at the bottom, which is kind of cool. For pots, this plant is in a nursery pot, a hanging nursery pot. It actually came with the plants. I haven't switched it out because I wasn't really willing to ruin anything. It has one of the little white hangers on top, and it hangs like so. It's really cute. And I guess I'll just include the trellis into the pot. So I have this black trellis that I bought from Amazon. I bought it in a 2-pack, and I just kind of tied it up here because I did a lot of research, and these tend to shoot out some aerial roots kind of ish, just so that they can the plant can stable itself, so that it can continue to vine upwards or climb upwards. So I did put it up a trellis. Hopefully that'll help it. I don't know what it'll do. Hopefully it'll help it out a little bit and grow longer vines. And for the soil it's in, the soil is like typical nursery soil, so it looks like it has a little bit of perlite in it. Barely any, honestly, and it could be just mostly just general potting mix minus perlite. I do find when I do water it, it gets pretty heavy, so it could be a pretty dense soil, which I don't think is the best soil, but because it's like a succulent, I think it's fine in this soil. It can deal with it compared to other plants like philodendrons or scindapsus or other plants like that, which cannot handle this dense soil. But this plant so far is fine with it. How cute is that? So cute. Hopefully you can see it. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the care of this plant. I wouldn't say it's easy at all. It's one of my most difficult plants, and even now sometimes I would struggle with it. But I think the key to taking care of these silver dollar vines is do not overwater it, 1, and 2, give it a lot of light. I've had mine, like I said, in the window directly, and it was actually perfectly fine. I found that it actually did better being in the direct light rather than actually being like, you know, having less light or whatever. But here she is. I love her. And propagation, I know this isn't really part of the categories, but in terms of propagation, I heard you can just cut a piece of the vine, make sure you have a little bit extra of the stem or the petiole, and stick that into soil and it'll root up just like most succulents do. So I'm still testing it out. My first few test subjects actually failed, but I'm still testing it out. I'm still trying with this plant because it's really cute, and it's the only one I have like this in my collection. So I don't know. We'll see what happens to it. I'll give you guys a growth update. But all these little vines here are actually new growth. I don't know if you can see. This vine here is new growth. There's one growing back here. I'll do some close-ups later. But it's doing well. It's happy so far, and I'm really enjoying it. Okay, and that's it for this video. Thank you all for watching. I hope you guys all enjoyed my last video. I want to say thank you to those who actually tuned in and watched it. It's actually one of my most watched videos on my channel, which is kind of exciting, so thank you all for that. I do plan on putting out some more content around my IKEA greenhouse because I have a lot more to film about it, but thanks for that. Feel free to subscribe, like, share this video with your friends and family, and tell me down below if you have a silver dollar vine. It's a plant that people find is easy for them, but I found that some plants that are easy for me aren't easy for others. Some plants that are easy for others are easy for me. But this plant here, even though it's easy for a lot of other people, is not for me. So get a small, maybe like a 2-inch pot, test it out, try it, see how it works for you. And oh, I didn't talk about it, but this plant actually cost me $49, almost $50. So it's definitely not a cheap plant. I probably should have started with a smaller pot, but that's just not me. Yeah. So anyway, thank you guys all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.